Today I'll be doing a game box art review for a game that probably a lot of people don't really know. A game called NEVERDEAD. NEVERDEAD was released way back in 2012, during where the Xbox 360 and PS3 era. It was created by a company called Rebellion, who you might recognize from making that Alien vs Predator game back in the day. They are more known now for the Sniper Elite series, which are pretty cool games. It was published by Konami, and when it came out, it kind of got stinky to very average reviews. Today it's got a little bit of a cult status for being an underappreciated game back in the day. Definitely a unique game for its time, and even though it was a very small length game, it had a bit of charm and something unique going for it. But today we're not going to be talking about the game, but we're talking about the game box art. Now, why am I talking about the game box art? Well, if you're like me, when you go around shopping having a browse at the games, the first thing you notice is the game cover. The game cover needs to be very appealing to your eyes. After all, it's the first thing that you see and take notice when you pick up a game. Especially for games that perhaps don't have huge marketing behind it, you definitely need a visual appeal for it to stand out amongst the rest. And this is why I'm talking about NEVERDEAD today. Let's take a closer look at it and see why this one was definitely appealing to me. The first thing you definitely notice is the very bright yellow in the cover. You don't see this kind of yellow used in a lot of game covers because it really just doesn't fit for a lot of stuff. Where here it actually seems to be working for it. It has a very grotesque, grungy kind of style to it, which really is appealing to look at. The title itself is very out there, especially where it has the big D. Big D. And then it makes you kind of curious. NEVERDEAD? What does that mean? Then we start looking at the characters on the cover. Let's take a look at the male protagonist on the cover that stands out the most. Just for reference, his name is Bryce Boltzmann. Wow, what an awesome name, Bryce Boltzmann. Anyway, you can see him here. He's like smoking a cigarette while holding a gun and possibly a sword in the other hand. Not quite sure there. In the game though, he does carry a sword and 2 guns with him. Yeah, pretty badass looking guy here. Just look at him. He's got a slick hairdo going back, wearing a ripped jacket, and looks like he's got one eye there that's yellow, which there is a main reason in the game why that is, but I won't tell you for any spoilers here. He's also got some kick-ass scar on the face there. I mean, just look at him. He looks badass. Just absolutely awesome look here. Now, let's head up a little bit. Now, as we head up here, we can see some stuff going on in the backdrop there, like, what is that thing going on in the corner? Absolute looks creepy as hell. But it gets you curious, like, what kind of game is this? And is this the taste for what kind of monsters we'll be facing in the game? These are the things that go on in our minds when we're looking at the cover, right? We get a visual appeal and then we imagine what we can expect in the game. As I already mentioned, there you go, big bold letters, NEVERDEAD, right? Blank in your face. Really stands out and just like it's very appealing, with a really graphitic and grainy kind of tone to it. Now let's head down and see what's going on below. Now heading back down, we're going to pass Mr. Cool Bryce here. You know, just look at it. Just having a lot of fun here, smoking his kicking ass. And then yeah, as we can see, as we're going to head further down here, we're going to see our female character as well. Bryce's partner here, whose name by the way is Arcadia Maximil. As well as if we head to the bottom, we're going to see some demons in the back. Again, talking about things we can expect in the game, we look at these monsters with these giant mouths and teeth, and man, they just look absolutely terrifying. Yeah, so it gives us a little bit of a hint of what to expect in the game. Pretty grotesque kind of enemies with a badass dude that wields guns and swords with a female partner there to back you up and looks pretty badass herself holding that gun there. So overall, this cover looks really appealing to look at. It's very unique with its color and art style and just really appealing with its badass looking characters. Now, if I had to give it an overall grade, which I am, that's the whole point of this review, I will be grading this in a letter-based system with S being the best and F being the worst. I'll also be grading the back cover as well, along with the instruction manual and the game disc itself. At the end, we'll average out the grades and that'll be my score for the official game box art. Now let's move to the back of the cover. Now when it comes to video game covers, depending on the country or region you're in, you're gonna get a different look. My one in particular is the Xbox 360 Canada version, so it has here the French as well as the English. So my review will be based on what I have right here. Now, first glance looking at the back of this cover, you can see about 2/3 of the cover taken up by Xbox information things. If we look at the PS3 version, you can see it has a lot more space. So definitely the Xbox version is inferior to the PS3 version just based off the cover. Now, if you look at the Italian version, for instance here, just look at this. Man, this is just way better than what we got over here. Like, why didn't they do the same thing here? It's just way more appealing. Instead of here, with the Xbox version, you only got 1/3 of the back cover explaining what's going on in the game, and the PS3 version only has half of it. So yeah, definitely a bit disappointing on the back cover here, but let's have a look at it anyway. So one of the main features highlighted here, which is pretty small, but definitely worth pointing out, is that the actual theme song to the game and a lot of the soundtrack is done by the band NEVERDEAD. Now let's have a look and see what it says up the top here in words to describe the game. New ways to kill. No way to die. Let's have a look at the description below it. It all started 500 years ago. Bryce gained immortality at a terrible price. His job? Hunting demons for the government. If he can keep his head, maybe humanity has a chance. Now, it's a small description of the game there, but basically it gives you an idea of what to expect in the game. So Bryce, our main character here, is immortal, which gives the reason for the title called NEVERDEAD. Now, let's just head over to the Italian version and have a look at that. Now, obviously I can't read Italian here, but just look at the cover at the back. Just looks way more appealing. And then even below, it has screenshots from the game itself. They definitely should have used this in the North American version. This back cover is just way more appealing than the one that we got over here. So I'm gonna judge this back cover based on the North American version, which, yeah, unfortunately I'm not gonna give it a super good score because of the amount of wasted space on here. However, it does give a brief but pretty good explanation of what to expect in the game and its basic lore. Now, let's have a look at the instruction manual and see if that has some appeal to it as well. Having a look at the instruction manual, it is the same as the front cover and in color. Although once we get inside the instruction manual, it all goes black and white from here. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot of art inside the manual, just some basic instructions on how to play the game. It does have some small backdrops if you look hard enough, but because it's in black and white, it's kind of hard to see everything. So yeah, unfortunately it's a little bit of a missed opportunity here. Looks like they went kind of cheap with the manual, but oh wow, at least it does have a basic understanding of the game and how to play it. Not too bad, but yeah, could have been a little better. Maybe some artwork to introduce the characters a little bit more and a bit of the gameplay would have been a nice touch. Having a look at the back of the manual, we have a little tease of Konami's next upcoming games there. We have Silent Hill HD Collection and Silent Hill Downpour. I always like when they do teases for the next upcoming games on the back of their manuals, so you can kind of see what you're looking forward to next from the company you're buying from. Yeah, always like that. It's a nice touch. I'll give it some little bonus points there. Finally, let's have a look at the game disc itself. Now, I have the Xbox 360 version, which, yeah, I don't like how they cover so much of their name and title in their discs. The PS3 does a lot better where it's more integrated on the disc, where Xbox 360, yeah, just the backdrop takes way too much space on there, so judge on that for the Xbox though, not the game. Yeah, so as you can see on the disc here, it looks like you got Bryce on the left, which is like his older self, and now this character on the right. You're not sure who this is exactly, could be a younger Bryce. But yeah, the art on this looks pretty nice. Definitely appealing there. Alright, now it's time to grade this box art overall for the whole game. So that'll be the front cover, the back cover, the instruction manual, and the game disc. Now most of the points will go towards the front cover and the back cover, and minor points for the instruction book and the game disc. So let's go through. For the front cover, I'll be giving it a 37. For the back cover, specifically for the Xbox 360 Canadian version I have, I'll be giving it an 18. Now, as for the instruction book, I'll be giving that a 12 out of 20. Lastly, for the game disc, I'll be giving it an 8 out of 10. All up, that'll be a total of 75, putting that in the solid B column. So that'll be my final grade for Never Dead on Xbox 360, giving it a B+. Thanks for watching till the end. If you enjoyed it, hey, leave a like, why don't ya? And make sure to click subscribe to see my future videos. Stay feral, catch you next time.